Tony Yayo was on Drink Champs, which actually Tony Yayo is one of the guys that I would say probably need to start his own podcast and host the podcast. I mean, just with different interview hosts. He's a very well spoken for person. I mean, when you talk about storytellers in rap, just not rapping, but just being able to tell a story and vividly paint a picture. Tony Yayo is probably right after Fat Joe. Fat Joe is the best storyteller I heard in hip hop as far as currently going, and how he can paint a picture. Like, you can, like, when you know you got a great storyteller, and like I said, I'm not talking about a song, which I will in a minute. When you got a great storyteller, they make you, it's like with a book. It gives you, it paints a visual in your head where you can see it actually play out in your head. You know what I'm saying? But Tony A was on Drink Champs. Him and one of the hosts, DJ EFN, they got into a debate because, once again, what's so funny is this. I mean, y'all know Willie D and Scarface got a podcast called Ghetto Boys Reloaded, right? It's on YouTube. They had Smackwater on there. He's an Instagram personality, or he was on Instagram. I don't see him no more. They probably took his page down again. Funny. He the one that's already saying you funky and all of that. And but he said that it's like you should never, with your friends, not at work, with your friends, you should never debate politics, religion, and I believe he said, oh no, it was like politics, sports, and hip hop. And I remember back in the day, somebody was telling me years ago that back in the day in the 90s, that somebody in New York got shot over a debate who was better, Craig Mack or Biggie Smalls. And in hindsight, that sounds crazy. Rest in power to both of those late great veterans. But, and I was thinking, I was like, man, really? We debate sports and hip hop, but he basically was saying it can cause that hemorrhage in a relationship that can't be repaired. Now, if we locked in, we ain't falling out over no hip hop debate, or we ain't falling out over no sports debate. It is what it is. It might get a little heated, but I get what he's saying. Sometimes that can start that hemorrhage or that breakage in a relationship where it opens the door for it to erode even more. So I kind of get what he was going at with that once I thought about it. But basically, Yayo, DJ EFN, however you want to pronounce it, basically got into it because DJ EFN, who he said, I was born in LA, and Biggie is in his top 5. Cube is the best. I think he said Cube is the GOAT for him, and he would take Cube over Biggie. That's his preference. Now, Yayo got mad over Biggie and over how you gonna take him over Biggie. I got the suitcase with the Centra. He started, rehearsing Ninjas Bleed, which is probably the greatest storytelling rap song of all time. A lot of people rate that as number 1, and I can't disagree. And if I was somebody, I don't have the resources to make this happen, but if I was somebody, I'll have a TV show or a mini series that brings great rap songs, or even great R&B songs to life, even if it's an animation or live action. That's probably the first song I would go with to actually bring that to a TV screen or to a big screen. That story is crazy. It's crazy, right? It's like you can see it actually happen, but nonetheless, and he's, they basically said there's no way you can have Cube over B. Yes, you can. You definitely can. Especially, he said, well, I'm from LA. Okay, you got to understand how influential, Ice Cube was. And Ice Cube had a career way before Biggie, and he had a career way after Biggie. So when you talking to a lot of New York City dudes, what you tend to kind of, get, if these are the dudes that migrate, and they migrate into Charlotte, Atlanta, Texas, because New York is so crowded in, and it becomes at some point unaffordable, and it's just like, but it's an experience that you have living there. I mean, it's humongous, it's fast life, but they live, like, once you see how big it is, like going to a borough is like another change of life there. You see what I'm saying? So once you go there and actually see there, and you like, okay, I understand why they so cocky and why they, woo, 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 woo. But in their mind, nothing else exists. And Cameron spoke about this outside of New York City. When NWA first came to New York, they got booed off the stage. and Run DMC, Run from Run DMC was the one that told them they not ready for this. Y'all guys are gonna be big, and they did take off. But it's not too far fetched for somebody to have Ice Cube over Biggie. Biggie had 2 albums, 3 if you want to count Life After Death twice, because it's a double disc album. And that's kind of like what separates him from Tupac. One of the things that separate him from Tupac for me is that Tupac just had a larger body of work. You know, and Cube has a large body of work. Talking about the things he penned on Easy Does It. He penned that whole album for Easy. Things he penned on NWA, America's Most, Lethal Injection. I mean, you could just keep going, Injection. You could just keep going on and on. What he did with Dub C. You know, so his longevity is just not to be questioned. And people say, well, Biggie wordplay was better, just because lyrics is just one part of the whole thing. Because it was lyrical, the top 10 or top 5 list, or your top 5 favorite list, it'd be totally different. We just being the greatest lyricists, but you gotta talk about arrangement, hooks, cadence, voice, bar. You know, we said bars. A lot of times the production, it plays into that. Everybody think just because you got punchlines that like make you a great lyricist. Some of the greatest punchline artists never sold a billion records. So the art of actually writing a story, is actually writing a song. You can have more punchlines than anything in a song, and it's not a hit. Cube has the art of storytelling, and he has the art, and Biggie does do, and he has the art of writing hit records, even without the guidance of a guy like Puffy, who had to convince Big, hey dude, we gotta get radio singles. And then his body of work is just larger, so you can understand why, but also his impact, it cracks. I mean, he hit every albums, groups, features. I mean, he got one of the greatest songs of all time. Today Was a Good Day. It's got to be a top 5 rap song, hip hop song of all time. Kids come out the womb knowing that song. It's greater than anything that, I'm not saying I take Cube over Biggie. I'm just saying I can see why. It's probably greater song than anything Biggie had. And yeah, I like Juicy and some of the other big hits that he got, like The More Money We Come. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he was big at the time. You know, he was dead and shit. That's why, you know, but it's not too far-fetched, especially when you're talking about somebody that come from LA. So nostalgia always hit different. That's part of hip-hop. That's part of music. That's what makes it's hard. Like when you explain people like Tupac to people that wasn't around when he was making his music. I don't even talk about the angry part. Like, it was just like you had to be there and to really feel it, to really get the full, and it brings great memories. You know, for 90s hip hop, you know, even with the one hit wonders, they bring great memories. You had to really compete to get on the radio, even with payola, without payola. It brought back great time. It was the golden era of hip hop, both R&B, rap, and the dressing. The style was on point. The music was climaxing. The style was climaxing. R&B was climaxing. Rap was climaxing. It was something that you would probably never see again. But to me, it's not too far-fetched. Now, Biggie carried on and kept going and going and going. Then maybe we'd be like, well, it ain't no competition. But everything Cube did, I mean, that's, you know, it's crazy. And who had the best verse on Straight Outta Compton? Shit, Cube. He wrote the first and the last verse. Easy. Come on. A miracle, my Cube. And I believe he wrote You Can't Play With My Yo-Yo too. A lot of people believe he wrote that for her name was Yo-Yo. Pen was crazy. Soul Train and lost their soul. Just call it train because they look like hoes. I see a lot of others, damn, it almost look like the bandstand. Actually, do I like Arsenio just as much as the bicentennial? I ain't give up dissing these dudes, they all scared of the Ice Cube. And what man, dude, I can see it, bro. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and debate you on your list and say, oh, you fucking wild as hell. You know, you said Vanilla Ice was better than Tupac. Now that's some shit I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna feed into it. You believe what you believe. Like, people want to believe Jay-Z to go, I can see why. That's one thing about my channel, man. I was listening to Anton Daniels earlier talk about kind of being a content creator, and everybody want to get a microphone and not know what come with it. Everybody want a platform, but they want all the good to come with it, but they don't want none of the bad and the ugly that come with it. Right? And one thing I always try to pride my channel on, and sometimes I might get out of line, is I try to always see it. For the most part, I try to always see it from the other person's perspective. Like, damn, I could see that. Yeah, for sure. I could definitely see that. Yeah, maybe. And sometimes, nah, I really can't see that. I try to look at, even when I make decisions, bro, like, I like the way the pros, the cons in my head, how people budget, some people I didn't know didn't budget their monthly expenses. I'm a month ahead budgeting my monthly expenses. Before I get my check, I know exactly how I'm breaking everything down. What I'm saving, what I'm buying, what I need, what I don't need, my personal, I'm breaking it all down. So and men are, obviously more naturally organized than women. I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah, I'm breaking it all down. So I know how much I got left to the last dollar to be able to make it through the next time, or to go have fun or go play or whatever. But nonetheless, I try to just see it from everybody's perspective. So it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Check out the music entertainment playlist for more videos like this. Check my new channel out, Free Game 89. With the free is 2 3s instead of E's, but the link's in the description. I'm not in the algorithm yet, so check the link tree or check the description for my other channel link. Down the road, I'll try to remember to pin it in the comment section. But hit my link tree, find my new channel there. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, a bunch of stuff there. Support me, thumbs up the video, share the video, let me know what's in the comment section. Peace.